Donald Trump just gave the commencement address at West Point, and it was confusing. He rambled, it was incoherent, he stumbled through his words, and for you, I watched the entire thing, so you don't have to. Before we get started, if you could hit like and subscribe, I'd greatly appreciate it. It goes a long way. Thank you. And make sure to watch all the way to the end for a clip that I haven't seen making the rounds, but I do think is really worrying. First, you may have seen this clip where he decided to spend a good amount of time talking about trophy wives.
But he was the first of the really, really big home builders, and he became very rich, became a very rich man. And then he decided to sell. He was offered a lot of money by a big conglomerate, Gulf and Western, big conglomerate. They didn't do real estate. They didn't know anything about it, but they saw the money he was making. They wanted to take it to a public company. And they gave him a lot of money, tremendous amount of money, more money than he ever thought he'd get. And he sold his company, and he had nothing to do. He ended up getting a divorce, found a new wife. Could you say a trophy wife? I guess we can say a trophy wife. It didn't work out too well. But that doesn't work out too well, I must tell you. A lot of trophy wives, doesn't work out. But it made him happy for a little while at least. But he found a new wife. He sold his little boat and he got a big yacht. He had one of the biggest yachts anywhere in the world.
Maybe this is a cry for help. This seems like he's just projecting here. Does this story hit close to home for you? And throughout the speech, he took many opportunities to take shots at the Biden administration.
Morale in the armed forces is soaring to the highest levels in many decades after years of recruiting shortfalls. We had years and years of recruiting shortfalls. And just last year was the worst of all. The last year of the Biden administration.
And like any Donald Trump speech, he decided to bring up the results of the 2024 election.
You know, we had the greatest election victory. This was November 5th. We won the popular vote by millions of votes. We won all 7 swing states. We won everything. We won 2,750 districts against 505, 2,750 against 505. We had a great mandate, and it gives us the right to do what we want to do to make our country great again, and that's what we're going to do.
But he didn't stop there. He also whined about the investigations into his criminal behavior.
I went through a very tough time with some very radicalized, sick people, and I say I was investigated more than the great, late Alphonse Capone. Alphonse Capone was a monster. He was a very hardened criminal. I went through more investigations than Alphonse Capone, and now I'm talking to you as president. Can you believe this? Can you believe it? So you got to fight hard, you got to never give up, and don't let bad people take you down.
And this part I found to be really disgusting. He decided to use his opportunity to speak to these West Point graduates about immigration and bragged about mass deportations.
Our country was invaded for the last 4 years, and they've allowed people to come into our country that shouldn't be here. Criminals walk in, no vetting, no check-in, no nothing. Where are they coming from? And they were taking people out of prisons, they were taking gang members, they were taking the mentally insane and allowing them to come in, and we're getting them out of our country. We have no choice. We're getting them out and bringing them back where they came from. On day one, I deployed our military to the southern border, and since that day, we've reduced the number of illegal border crossings where there used to be hundreds of thousands of people coming into our country a day. We had nobody come in the last week and a half.
And as we know, he's already deported American citizens, children who were born here from undocumented parents. And they are continuing to harass and deport legal residents of the United States. You can't really make it out in the audio, but I did check other feeds and the audience reaction was mixed at best. Significantly less applause for this part than anything else in his speech. But the clip that I thought was most worrying was when he talked about democracy and the role of the military, because he said this.
The job of the U.S. Armed Forces is not to host drag shows, to transform foreign cultures, but to spread democracy to everybody around the world at the point of a gun. The military's job is to dominate any foe and annihilate any threat to America anywhere, anytime, and any place.
The great thing about democracy is when people choose to embrace it. You're not bringing democracy to another country when a foreign military comes in, topples a government, wreaks havoc, leaves the country in shambles, and then tries to prop up a new government. That is a recipe for disaster, and we have seen it time and time again. Throughout the Middle East, you can see examples of this plan failing. Throughout South and Latin America, you can see examples of this failing. Yes, people want democracy, but they want to create their own. They don't want the American military coming in and trying to create one, because that results time and time again with untold civilian casualties. The best thing the US can do is engage in diplomacy. Peace is what creates a healthy, vibrant democracy, not war. And Trump does not get that. And despite many people on the right trying to claim that Donald Trump is anti-war, we can see through that. We can see his actions. And comments like this ultimately prove us right. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much for watching.